challenge to keep yourself at the front. Last year he probably overperformed in terms of his championship.
How much faster the pace was over the course of the race compared to a year ago.
Some of these riders to go out, certainly they're going to have some track cleaning to do. We saw in the Supersport session.
To see that we have got some bikes though out on track. The championship contenders are all remaining as long as you possibly can as well.
Yeah, it's not easy out there, and the problem for the riders is once you're out on track, you're
Reading and broadly in similar positions on the circuit. You can see three of them line stands we anticipate. This then is Alvaro Bautista, four-man in recent rounds as far as Bautista is concerned.
Yeah, he's been on unbelievable form, and he's riding really. He's put them to great use all the way through this season because he has been pretty much perfect. He's been able to get the most out.
Needs to avoid retirements to get it over the line. There's no way he's going to be finishing down in 7th position.
As well, those 2 race crashes and a couple of crashes in free practice. That's literally been it for Bautista.
The top 3 or 4 riders ahead of everyone else. I mean, you've got a lead trio that's been very clear.
Yeah, I think for Bautista, he needs to just really approach this like he would any other weekend. He needs to make sure that he's in the championship standings, and it was a case of, for Bautista, making sure that you got across the line at the end.
Tom Sykes, the former Superbike world champion, will be making his return to the series after results there that I think he might have been anticipating, or that many were expecting of him, back into the fold.
It's much more Grand Prix style rather than someone like Cadwell Park or Oulton Park that's
to track just yet. Little to be gained from the running at this stage. First lap times to 4, and then everyone else 1 minute 43s and 44s. The times are gradually improving.
His first flying lap was about 2 seconds faster than this one, so that could give us an indication. Walk, and he said that he'd gone out after the media laps had been done, so the laps that we get tracked and create a little bit of a line out there and try and put some rubber down.
First fly. We have our first opportunity to hear from our pit reporter, Anthony Nelson.
Thanks, Alex, on how the negotiations have gone to the signing of Sykes and your thoughts.
Try to put him in the condition on the best for the top 5.
This has been going for months, basically. So I imagine this is something that
Yes, 6 years Kawasaki already. He's a world champion with Kawasaki, and I think he's very...
Signals the end of the journey for Lucas Mayas. It was by Whipchetti Racing. The results...
Champion, it was... the goal actually, it was the world champion, but that year we look at them, run 4 years with him. He's a good talent, very good boy, and it was an English...
Razgatlioglu becomes the first rider to go sub 1 minute 40, 1 minute 39 flat for him.
Yeah, obviously for Pichetti, when this man Top Rack guys got on the bike, they were able to win races, and into race-winning form is very unlikely, and certainly for Tom it's going to be about trying to make...
W and then Ducati, it's a return to familiar territory.
Being able to manage the races an awful lot better, manage the tyre wear an awful lot better. Maybe that's going to...
Practice 1 has just set a 1 minute 37.428, so just as he did
I remember at the time Anthony went down, he was chatting to Paul Denning about it, and he was there. These guys learn track.
We've got Kyle Smith coming in as the latest rider for... 2 of them will have set a lap time as well.
Yeah, and we'll wait and see where Jonathan Ray's pace comes down.
And not doing anything silly, just make sure you avoid incidents, because when the track's a little bit...
Make sure you're able to get as many laps in as possible and learn as much as possible and get yourself ready for...
2 Ducatis in 2nd and 3rd positions. Kalekuona has now come back
up towards next year, and I thought one of the most interesting things that we've heard in and around the paddock was actually
that theoretically at least you'd expect to be almost identical, but having to adapt for his 2nd round back now with Barney Ducati after appearing in Argentina, but was
in Estoril, like you said, inside the top 10, looked very strong. But it's very different whenever you've...
Some different rumours about who might be on that Barney Ducati for next season. Time of 1 minute 36.938. Alvaro Bautista, 2 sweltering down there below us in our nice air-conditioned commentary box.
Yeah, totally big weekend for him on the 55. Obviously here and next time out in Phillip Island.
He was 4th last season. The stated target for 2022 was to bridge the gap to where he missed the pit board and missed the notification. The clue is your fastest man at the moment in FP1 this morning with a 1 minute 36.9 with a 1 minute 38.849. So gradually over the course of the session we had the lap record here in Indonesia, and 4 seconds fast.
Then we'll be able to get ourselves down to real pace.
Opportunity to
Indonesia. Now I wanted to ask firstly what you've been able
to be able to move the geometry of our bike before we have like a 3. Correct, yeah. For us it makes a big difference on how we load the tyre, and it's something we've had limits on. We've tested it before and it's gone very well, so we will see this weekend.
Leon Camier talking about the track conditions. We've said it ourselves, just on the pure pace, as Leon said there. The fact that the tyres aren't lasting too long in these conditions.
Way across the track surfaces, it struggles to try and find some grip out there, and that's why you end up, particularly on the front riders, to go out there. And really, you get to a certain point, almost like a wet track, where you just need to get overtake is going to be a case of harrying riders into mistakes. Obviously, last year we saw a wet race. And
in free practice one here in Indonesia, and showing just how narrow that line is. And
that's where, for the likes of Locatelli, he's just sitting the bike up, making sure that he gets it.
In Indonesia, Mercado just stepping away from his machinery, as he will do, and complete the laps. And he looked pretty emotional coming round to greet the fans at the end of the week.